you ready? I said, are you ready for Let's Talk Whoa Hockey? And now, here are our hosts, Beth and Zach.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 49 of Let's Talk Whoa Hockey. We are, of course, brought to you, as always, by 5 in a Game Sports Network. I'm your girl, Beth, joined, as always, by my dude, Zach. How are you doing today, buddy?
Doing good. Can't complain. Sunday is weather's half decent, so can't go wrong. Plus, hockey. I mean, what more can you say? It's just we got hockey, and more hockey, and I'm here for it because hockey and I love hockey. So I know baseball's finally started up. Woo, but
Whatever.
It's still hockey season. Yeah. So how are you doing?
I am doing good. I mean, hockey happened today. I spent the day watching PHF hockey, which is, never a bad day, ever.
I am shocketh. Yes. I say.
Shocketh. And then I was, doing some digging, dealing with all of this NHL trade deadline craziness, which we'll get into later this week on the hockey show, but it has been a day. Been a day. Did you have a good hockey day? Did you get to enjoy some puck?
On Twitter here and there, trying to keep up with a lot of stuff that's going on. Just, scores and Kendra Miller doing unsavory things, I guess. But, of course, Timo Meyer's now a New Jersey Devil, so that was interesting. So,
still waiting on the return from that. We might hear about it next week. Who knows?
If Lou Lamoriello was still the GM, you wouldn't know about him for another decade. So, at least we're gonna get sooner rather than later. But yeah, I got to watch a lot of highlights and keep up with as much as I could. It's been a busy Sunday, to be honest with you. But I was have to ask you that question because it's the PHF and Beth is off on the weekend. So you know what that means? Hockey,
just all of the hockey. It's always great. I got to go to hockey Friday and Saturday here, and also watch hockey all weekend.
I have to say though, there's a lot of scores from this weekend that were downright disrespectful. It seemed like some people had some vendettas against some.
Yeah.
There was some beef. There was some spice.
There was some spice today in the Whale Ribs game. There was a lot of spice going on. Some downright disrespectful scores happening in the league this weekend.
Yeah, it wasn't just like oh, we beat this team. We
it was like
stomped, mollywopped, absolutely just beat the brakes off of teams. I'm like, is everyone okay? It's like, is everyone all right?
Is everyone okay?
We want to have fun, but jeez.
We'll start with, because there was Friday night PHF hockey, which it's always a good weekend when it starts off with WoHo.
Friday, we got hockey.
We got Friday hockey.
Put down a t-shirt.
And then it was the Boston Pride visiting the rink at American Dream and the Metropolitan Riveters. And this is kind of where the disrespectful scores started. And friends, this one did not end the way that you think. I'm going to say the score first, but I'm going to tell you right now, the 6-2 score, which is a score we are used to hearing from our friends in Boston. Boston did not score 6 goals on Friday. The Metropolitan Riveters scored 6 goals on Friday. Kelly Babstock had 2 goals.
If Kelly Babstock's got a couple goals, the Metropolitan Riveters are kind of feeling themselves after that one. Was Schroeder in that, or was it someone else? Because that doesn't sound like
it was not.
I was just saying that doesn't sound like her and Schroeder giving up 6 goals, and she might give up 6 goals.
Every tendy has a bad game.
Right. No, for sure.
Let's be honest. Every tendy has a bad game.
Yeah, but Corinne Schroeder might give up 6 goals in 2 weeks, not a game. So
yeah. So it was not Schroeder in net. It was Lavisa Salander. The
Sorry,
Pride.
I'm like looking behind you. All I see is a dog head just pop up over your shoulder, like over your right shoulder.
She's hanging on the beanbag chair.
Sorry,
so
all I see is whoop.
Yeah, nope. That Ella just doing what Ella do. Now the Pride did open the scoring, and I'm sure it is no surprise to hear that opening of scoring came from Lauren Gable. She has been absolutely fire this season for the Boston Pride. But then the Riveters they scored 4 goals after Boston's first goal. We had a goal from Fanny Garat-Gasparix. We had a goal from Kendall Score9 herself. We then had a goal from the captain, Madison Packer. And then, just to add some more, we had a goal from Mintu Tuominen. So then it was 4-1 Metropolitan Riveters. When I tell you I was at a hockey game looking at this score going, is this correct? This is not the game that I was expecting. The Pride then had a goal scored by Sammy Davis. And to finish up the scoring, why not? We get 2 goals back-to-back from Miss Kelly Babstock. Like, the Riveters came into this weekend fighting to secure a playoff spot. Because if they won Friday and today, then they would still have playoff hopes. So they came into Friday knowing what needed to be done, and what needed to be done is they needed a W over the Boston Pride.
Yeah.
And they got that W. And I mean, not a super spicy game, a couple penalties here and there, nothing super, crazy. It was a well-played game, and it was the win that the Riveters needed to keep those playoff hopes alive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we move to Saturday, we had 2 games on Saturday. We had Toronto visiting Richfield Ice Arena versus the Minnesota Whitecaps. Toronto leaving with a 1-0 shutout. And then we had Buffalo making their first ever trip up to Montreal to play the Montreal Force in their home arena, which this go around was the Centre d'Excellence Sport Rousseau, since they are kind of touring the province in this first season. And the Buttes continued their winning ways on Saturday with a 3-1 victory over the Montreal Force. Because, again, we're fighting for playoff spots right now. The teams that needed to win on Friday and Saturday got the wins that they needed.
I mean, who needs to watch drama on TV? Just watch PHF hockey as they're trying to figure out
WoHo.
Just try to figure out playoff spots. There's your drama right there.
There's your drama right there. Now, Sunday was a different story. Coming into Sunday, the Montreal Force needed to do good things in order to keep any sort of playoff hopes alive for themselves. And they did the thing. And
this turns into beating the brakes off. This is absolutely just donkey stomping, however you want to put it. Wow.
Yeah. Like, just the Force said, no more wins for you, Buffalo. We're going to beat you 6-2.
Yeah, just absolute disrespect. Like, we're going to steal your lunch money, give you a wedgie. Like,
it's fine. We're winning this game. Like, they came out and they did what needed to be done. Unfortunately, as the day continued, Montreal was eliminated from playoff contention before the Whale Riveters game even began. That was one of the first graphics that they showed, is that Montreal had been eliminated from playoff contention. But Jade Downey Landry opened the scoring. We got to see MGM do what she does best. She did score the first goal for the Buttes, followed by a Buttes goal by Whitney Dove. Then the Force were just like, just kidding. We're done playing now. This game is ours, because we then saw goals from Sarah Lafleur, another goal from Jade Downey Landry, another goal from Sarah Lafleur, and then Alyssa Holmes, and then Christina Shanahan. They made sure to secure this victory.
So basically, they forced their will on the Buttes.
Yes, they absolutely forced their will onto the Buttes and forced some decisions here. Now, for the Buttes, the playoff question was still open. They still had a path to lock in their slot into the Isabel Cup. I want to say playoff bracket, but that's not how it goes anymore, friends. We actually have like rounds of the playoffs now. So they had a chance.
Thank goodness. I'm like, I like our little bit of chaos that is the PHF, but I'm glad there's no brackets. Like here goes to here goes to this. It's like one of those like diagrams in like math class.
Yeah.
You're like, what does this even say? It looks like you're trying to read Latin, and it's like, what?
Yes. And so no more foreign language charts, no more craziness. We have best of 3 for the to get to the semifinal, and then best of 3, and then final. It's beautiful.
Is it a one game? Is it a one game for the final, or is it an actual series for the final?
The final is one game.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So basically, at most, you're probably playing 11 games in the playoffs. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be wild. At most, you're playing 11 more games after you're playing a regular season like this.
Yes. And so it's great to see like playoff rounds, like best of series. It's just another sign that the league is growing, and it's great. Like I absolutely love it when they announce this format. Yes, the first 2 series take place in Boston and Toronto, and both of them were the first 2 teams to clinch a playoff position. But the semifinal round is neutral site.
I wonder where.
I believe the final is also neutral site, from what I remember reading. So
the final could be like in Montreal, depending on who's in, or it could be anywhere.
Exactly. So we then move on to the next game after that disrespectful 6-2 victory.
Actually, no, here you go. I have a perfect place for the final. Put it in Chicago.
Yes. Fifth Third Arena is a great place to hold hockey. I'm just saying.
Why not put it there?
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah. Sunday was just disrespectful score day, because then we have the Toronto 6 with their final game of the weekend versus the Minnesota Whitecaps.
They swept them, by the way. They swept them too. Pull out the broomsticks.
Pull out the brooms. The 6 got the sweep. And the final score of that game was 7-1.
Oh, so the extra point was good.
The extra point was good for the Toronto 6. They put it straight through the uprights. We had Dominika Laskova with 2 goals. We had Cheyenne Darkangelo with 2 goals. We had Michaela Kava with a goal. I mean, when you have 2 players hitting Hattie Watch in the second period, things are getting a little heated in Toronto. So just absolutely just goals. Oprah was there handing out goals, it seems like, for the Toronto 6. 7 goals on 40 shots. Not too shabby of a Sunday for the 6.
No, not at all.
And with that win, the Toronto 6 also moved into the number 1 spot in the PHF standings. So not something that you hate to see. And of course, we're going to finish up with the last game of the day. It was the later start. The Metropolitan Riveters made their way into Connecticut for the final home game this season for the Connecticut Whale in the regular season. It was also Captain Shannon Turner Day. This is her last season playing professional hockey. So they wanted to take the day out to honor her. And it was Pride Night. And the jerseys are perfection. Like absolute perfection. Pucky has a little whale spout rainbow. They're black jerseys with big bright neon rainbows on them. Absolutely loved it. And this game, I'm not going to lie, I was getting a little frustrated. I was like, come on, where are my whale? Like, I know they're here. Where are they? And let me tell you, the third period, the where we're like, we're right here. Hi. So Taylor Gerard did open up the scoring pretty early into the game. First goal was scored 1:08 into the game. Madison Packer was like, no ma'am, turned around and scored a power play goal to tie it up at 1-1. Mintu Tuominen said, me too, I would like a goal. Scored a goal. And there was no scoring in the second period. And it was a bit of a frustrating second period. It was a great defensive game, though, like, not going to lie. Then the third period happened. And when I tell you that the most exciting 5 minutes and 57 seconds of hockey I have ever watched occurred in this game, the most exciting 5 minutes and 57 seconds of hockey occurred because in that 5 minutes and 57 seconds, Justine Reyes got a hat trick. And the Whales scored 5 goals in 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes. And it was almost like a Justine Reyes natural hat trick because she scored and then she scored again. Katrin Lonergan said, hey, let me get in on this, and scored. And then Justine Reyes was like, hey, I want the hat trick. I'm going to score. Taylor Gerard finished up the Whale scoring. There was a literal last-minute goal by the Metropolitan Riveters. The Whale were on a 5-3 shorthanded situation, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But Emily Harley did close out the scoring for that game. Final score, 6-3 Connecticut. Ticket to the playoffs, punched. Shannon Turner said, my playing days are not over yet, guys. We've got postseason hockey to take care of.
Not just yet, my friends. We ain't done.
Not just yet, my friends. We are not quite done. We are going to the playoffs, and we are making this run for Isabel. And I feel like at the end of the day, this run is going to be for Captain Turner.
Imagine the Whale win their first ever Isabel Cup with Turner. Yes, I've been waiting to tell you after you're doing all this.
I know this is the WoShow. I'm going to take the PHF Weekend Recap away for a second. Jack Johnson is no longer a Chicago Blackhawk. He was just traded
to the
back to the Avalanche. So
for
Andreas Englund.
Yeah. Mario Terabasi tweeted out from Kevin Weeks that Jack Johnson was traded, and the Pierre LeBrun lets you know who it was for. But yeah, Jack Johnson basically just took a little bit of a hiatus to Chicago, and then came right back to Colorado. So he spent like half the season in Chicago. He's like, all right, go back to Colorado.
Just head on back to Colorado. You know, he got to do the banner raising ceremony, first game of the season. Thank you, Colorado, for letting us borrow him for a couple months. I know he was a big presence in the locker room. And did great things.
Andreas Englund is an interesting pickup.
Yeah. I mean, everything's interesting right now. But we're going to have to get into that a little later because we still got WoHo to talk about. So there is something, I know normally our What the Pucks are a little deeper than this, but I was talking to Zach about this earlier because I have a What the Puck to discuss. So during the Whale Riveters game today, the Riveters goaltender covered the puck because she wanted a stoppage in play. And the ref didn't blow the whistle. And the explanation for the ref not blowing the whistle is there was not a Connecticut Whale player near her. Therefore, play was going to continue. I've never seen this before, nor heard of that rule.
It is a very, it's one of those, I think it's a discretion of the referee type things, because I've never really heard it before. I mean, I've never seen it, but I have heard of stuff going like that before. It's very rare, but you'll see it sometimes where the ref's like, we're not just stopping play because you want it to stop without unless there's someone there that's different. But I think if there was like no Whale within the vicinity of like half a zone near you,
she was behind the net. Like the closest Whale player was like behind the net, just on the opposite side of the net from where the tendy was covering.
Okay, then that should have been whistled then because there's one close enough. If they're saying it wasn't close, but there's someone right behind it, then like I understand it's one of those like weird like non-written rules, but that should have been whistled. There's someone right behind, so that makes no sense.
Well, and it's one of those things where it's like, you know,
why?
Because here's my thing. Like, maybe she noticed that her team needed a line change. Maybe she was thirsty and wanted a drink of water, which is why she wanted the play to go dead. Like, if the goalie covers the puck and the ref can no longer see the puck, according to every hockey rule, the play is dead.
Yeah.
So, like, confusion.
A little bit, just a little bit of confusion.
Yeah, like a little bit of confusion, a little bit of crazy, something I'd never seen before and don't understand, because goalies know things. Like, they know when their team needs a moment. And if the Rivs needed a moment and the puck was fully covered under the goalie glove, which it was, the play should have been blown dead.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't understand.
So I go back to the trade real quick. Andreas Englund's number is 88 in Colorado. Not so fast, my friend. You ain't gonna get that.
No. That number's off limits in Chicago, my friend. Regardless of what may come, that number is off limits.
Yeah, but it's such a weird thing to happen. Like, I've never seen a ref be like, no.
Yeah.
No, just no. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Definitely interesting with the puck for sure. Never really. That's one of those like weird hockey things where you're like, did that actually happen, or am I imagining it? So,
yeah,
very odd indeed.
Like, the puck was covered, and I was like, okay, cool, stoppage. I was about to go and get like a refill on my water, and then there was no whistly sound, and I was like, is there a glitch in the matrix? Like,
did the simulator stop for a second and then reboot itself?
Like, what happened? Like, I don't understand. Like, did my brain freeze time? Like, what's going on right now?
What?
Like, what is happening? So that's my only thing. Like, referee. I'm gonna channel Ted Lasso for a second. Referee! If you can't see the puck, you're supposed to blow the play dead. And like, Dems be the rules.
Yeah.
Dems be the rules.
We'll talk about referees real quick. Shout out to Wes McCauley.
I love that man.
Absolutely bodied Brad Marchand. What a hit. Fantastic.
Like,
I think it either was the same game or the game after he got fined for tripping a Kraken player too. Do you know Marchand's almost got $1.5 million lost due to fines? I'm like, I wish I had $1.5 million to throw around for being stupid.
Yeah. Like, what? That man.
But shout out to Wes McCauley for absolutely just throwing the hip check on Brad Marchand.
I'm sure every referee in the game has been like, I wish. And Wes McCauley was like, I got you, friends. I got you.
So great.
Like, just absolutely love it. So we're going to swing it on over to our friends in women's WoACHA hockey. And Zachary, I'd like for you to go first because your team played this weekend in the playoffs. And I'd like you to give our fans a little bit of a recap on the CMU action that happened this weekend.
Yeah, so CMU played a bunch of games this past weekend, to say the least. I know, trying to go back. So I know they played. Yeah, so they had Michigan State on the 24th. They had Sioux College on the 25th, and they had Adrian on the 20. Also, they had 2 games on the 25th. They had a 9:45 in the morning game against Sioux College, and they played 7:30 that night against Adrian.
Yeah, like, that's insane.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's wasn't really expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for the Michigan State, it's weird because I'm on their Twitter and I don't see a Michigan State. Let me go over to the Instagram. There's no Michigan State scores on.
Oh, WoACHA website. One day, you will do things nicely for us.
Okay, I do have a score for the Michigan State game.
Okay.
So Michigan State did win 2-1 against Central Michigan. Close game. I mean, both teams are really good. It is what it is. So Friday night's game, Michigan State did win 2-1. The early morning Saturday game against Sioux College. We've been saying the whole time that Sioux College is pretty much a wagon this year, and they're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Sioux College was up like 9-0 after the second period, and they end up winning the game 11-0.
Jeez. It was we did say it was a weekend of disrespectful scores.
We did, and when we talked to Mac and Emily, it's like the team was kind of like really into like their second real season for the most part. For like, I know it's like it's one of the because like due to COVID and a whole bunch of other stuff, it's kind of thrown their schedules off a bit. But I mean, it is what it is. So I mean, and like I said, Sioux College is just they were undefeated going into the playoffs. I mean, for the CCWHA playoffs, I mean, you kind of have to, it's one of those things. I mean, for the fact that Central Michigan got it was absolutely amazing. Like, I'm so proud of this team for the fact that like they played a really great season, got into the playoffs because we all thought, are they going to make it? Because the WoACHA thing was being so weird about like seedings and who's going to get in because now a lot of teams play the same amount of games. So that game that really early. Would you like some hockey with the side of your eggs and bacon? Because it's basically got breakfast and hockey.
I mean, breakfast hockey isn't always a bad thing. Like, don't get me wrong.
No,
but,
I mean, I wouldn't mind a breakfast burrito with my hockey because why not? Or breakfast quesadilla.
You could have like a full brunch situation at like the second intermission and just bust out like the mimosas and the eggs Benedict. I mean,
could you? Oh my gosh, could you imagine a team was actually kind of smart, just having a game that early, just being like, hey, come to the arena, have some eggs Benedict and like one mimosa max, but enjoy some hockey at the same time.
See, that's the one thing that I hate about school day games in the ECHL is like they're not serving breakfasty type foods at the arena. It's still like the normal arena food. Like it would be clutch if it was like breakfast sandwiches and breakfast burritos. Like
I do have to say though, real quick tangent. So when we were coming back from Raleigh last weekend, we stopped at the Buc-ee's. I went to Buc-ee's in Florence at least like 5 or 6 times, going with all the back and forth driving. So the Sunday morning when we were driving back at like 6 a.m, we stopped there at like 7 something. I think it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I got their bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit sandwich from Buc-ee's. Worth the best $5 I ever spent on a breakfast sandwich. That thing was good. Buc-ee's is absolutely amazing. Like,
yes,
it's clutch. Okay, so then Saturday night, CMU played Adrian for the last game of the weekend. Adrian did end up winning that game 5-1.
Okay.
So past that, their Twitter last night said final score from Crystal Fieldhouse. Stay tuned for more from your Chippewas. I haven't seen any updates yet on what's going on with the Chips, but 2-1, 11-0, 5-1. I mean, just the fact they got into the playoffs, a great season. They started the season like I think 7 or 8 to nothing. Like they had a really good winning streak to start the season. Got to second in the conference in their region, I guess, and then got into the playoffs. I mean, and they like a lot of the teams that are playing are pretty good. Like I think Adrian and Sioux College were both like in the top 5 nationally or something like that. It was like absolutely insane. So I mean, for the fact that they finished where they're at and played some really good competition, I mean, it stinks to have how it played out, but just to get the experience of like knowing what playoff hockey is even better. So like I said, Mac and Emily and everyone at CMU, if you are listening, I mean, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you ladies for what you did this season. It was a great year. Definitely excited, ready for next season. Of course, we got all the commits coming in. I'm proud of this Chips team. So fire up the Chips. Let's have a great off season, and maybe go win a conference next year, and get a run in the playoffs. So, but yeah, I couldn't be more proud of this Chips team for the season they had and getting into the playoffs. So,
yes, I mean, they made it into the playoffs. Like you said, it was really their second season.
Yeah,
actually competing, and look what they accomplished. I mean, The future is very, very bright for the Chips, regardless of what comes next.
Yeah,
it is absolutely a bright future.
Yeah, I mean, after what Max said too, like, have not really have a team kind of playing just like random hockey just to play hockey, and then getting the team back and dealing with everything else and all that. But send the culture, getting a really good head coach, getting recruits left and right and stuff like that. And just having a culture that the team has is just absolutely amazing. So
yes,
things are just going to get better for the Chips out there in Mount Pleasant.
For sure.
So yeah.
So, but I mean, just absolutely amazing season thus far. Of course, we are waiting to see what comes next for our friends at CMU. And if we hop over to Division I, we had some friends of the podcast, and of course, my Indiana Tech team in the playoffs this weekend. On Friday, we had University of Michigan facing off against Grand Valley State University. Michigan came out with a 3-0 shutout. And then if we take a peek over at Saturday's scoreboard, we had University of Michigan face Indiana Tech.
Ooh, and there you go.
It's tough when your team and friends of the pod face off against each other. I'm not going to lie. But of course, as always, roll Tech, baby. And they came out with the 3-2 victory over the University of Michigan. And then we move over to Sunday's schedule, and Indiana Tech did face off against Adrian College. Unfortunately, it was a loss for Indiana Tech. It was 3-0. All 3 goals were scored in the third period by Adrian. It was a super close game in the first 2 periods. Both teams, you could see the drive and the desire to get everything kind of taken care of and get that spot in there. So we are again playing the wait and see game when it comes to what is next for this Indiana Tech team this season. We're hoping for some tournament stuff going on, but what a great playoff weekend for them. I mean, to go 2 games, face off against, Michigan is a good squad.
Yeah, Jenna and her staff up there in Michigan are yeah. Maybe should make Michigan kind of be like, maybe we need to do a little bit more for our women's team, but that's just us.
I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, if they could get, a little bit of the Ohio State treatment, seeing as they're building a brand new ice hockey facility for both their men's and their women's teams. Be nice if every college did that. But then again, Ohio State was the first team that I ever noticed who had their teams designated on social medias as M hockey and W hockey. Like they didn't just expect W hockey to be women's hockey and them to just be hockey. They actually had their men's hockey team change their handles with the M in it. So not necessarily something that you hate to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Gophers hockey needs to do that a little bit though, because it's Gophers hockey, then it's Gopher women's W hockey. So Minnesota, come on. I do have to say though, Minnesota hockey though. Yeah, so Division I real quick. Minnesota women's hockey, they actually beat St. Thomas 6-2 yesterday. They advanced the 2023 WCHA final face-off. So.
And the Ohio State women's hockey team also advanced to the WCHA. They're both in the Final Four.
That's going to be, yeah.
I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, Ohio State is playing Minnesota Duluth, and I cannot remember who Minnesota is playing.
I'm not sure. Yeah, let me go look that up. I know we don't talk about NCAA hockey a lot because we really love the WoACHA, but I mean, hockey's hockey. So I mean.
Yeah. Oh God. I don't like that face.
It's the border battle. Minnesota and Wisconsin.
That's gonna be I have never been happier to have the Big Ten Network on my cable package than I am during this time of year.
Yeah, because they're gonna play every championship in playoff stuff. But we got the border battle of Minnesota, Wisconsin. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be electric. What a final. You got Duluth, Ohio State, then you got Michigan and Wisconsin.
It's gonna It's going to be a good weekend for WoHo next weekend. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Like I know we focus on WoACHA a lot, but it is getting closer to like that time of year where it's like, all right.
We're getting close to the real March Madness, which is, playoff college hockey on the men's and women's side. So
I have to see, like everyone talks about how great college basketball is. No, college hockey is where it's at. It's intense, and I'm here for it. So hopefully my Gophers of Division I NCAA hockey can pull it out. So big CMU guy, but we're talking NCAA as well, though. I gotta talk about the Gophers.
So. Oh, absolutely. So it has been a great weekend for WoHo. The playoff bracket is officially set for the PHF. We have got
now it just comes down to the seedings.
Yeah, now it comes down to the seedings, and honestly, I don't know how I want this to turn right now. I really don't, because at this point, regardless of what happens, it is going to be insanity. So
yeah,
we still got a couple weeks left in the regular season to figure out all of these seedings and standings and who's playing where.
Because you got to figure out, are you playing? Do you want Boston or do you want Toronto 6?
Yeah, who you want?
It's a pick your poison. What kind of path do you want to go through to get to the final and go for the Isabel Cup? So
yeah, I mean, it's going to be a crazy postseason. I cannot wait. The Six, the Pride, the Whitecaps, and the Whale have all punched their tickets to the Isabel Cup playoffs, and now we just got to figure out who's playing who and where.
Yeah, because you're gonna get a semifinal, then you got the final. So it's so it's gonna be a wild game 5 games of potential hockey, and then you get that 1 game final. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah, so that is it for our WoHo recap this week. I cannot wait for next week. I can't wait for more playoff hockey on the college side. I can't wait to see what happens with all of the seeding in the PHF. Everybody's tickets are punched now, so it's like, all right, now what movement's going to happen? Who's going to shift where? Who we facing in the first round? I mean, it's going to be an exciting one. So, my friend Zach, where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at OneSureZach. That's OneSureZach. It's actually spelled out like the number one, not the number one itself, like the Oneaters. Find me on Instagram at ZachRMartin22. If you're looking for any of my articles that I write for Field Pass Hockey, it's FPH Checkers. I have a link in my bio to go to where you can go to the page where you can see all my articles. Just go to fieldpasshockey.com as well if you didn't know, check that out. Beth, where people can find you on the internet?
So on the Bird Machine, you can find me at Wonder Beffers. This is where we confuse the people because it's like the word wonderful, not like the number 1, like my co-host over here, Zach.
Like, I wonder what happened to the Uneaters?
Exactly. On Instagram, you can find me at Good Better Beffers. And of course, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. The information's been scrolling across the bottom of the screen for the episode. On Twitter and Instagram, we are at Talk Wo Hockey Pod. And on YouTube, you can find us at Let's Talk Wo Hockey. Make sure you've subscribed and turned on the bell and like the videos and comment and share and do all those fun things to spread the love for WoHo and, of course, the Chicago Blackhawks. But we will catch you next time for episode number 50, when we are joined by a very special guest, the one, the only, Courtney Dagger.
Oh, you mean the demigoddess?
The demigoddess of chaos herself. So it is going to be an absolute blast. Look forward to seeing you guys next time. Keep a peep out on the socials because the schedule's a little fluid right now. So we will let you know when that episode's coming out. It's just a little fluid right now, and that's totally fine because life happens. So for me, Beth, for him, Zach, this has been episode number 49 of Let's Talk Wo Hockey, and we will see you guys next time. Bye!
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 Thank you for watching this 5 in a Game Sports Network podcast. Now avoid the sussy and go enjoy your game misconduct. See you next time.